Finals of the Boxcino tournament on ESPN, and we really want to thank Artie Pelullo, Banner Promotions, all the fighters. 1997 Boxcino champion Acelino Freitas for joining us as well. And without further ado, we're going to hear from the fighters, the trainers, Acelino, and here is Artie Pelullo with Banner Promotions.
Thank you, Brett. First thing, I'd like to thank. There's so many people to thank because for an endeavor like this to happen, it takes the cooperation of everybody and the cooperation of the television people. First people I'd like to thank is Brian Queter and John Companion. Last summer, and I think a lot of you guys know this, I went there, sat down, and talked to them about this concept I had to bring Boxcino back. They took over running the Friday night fights. I believe it was in June or July. I'm not exactly sure when. And I sat down. I said, we can do this. We can have a tournament. You're going to have a lot of young kids, and they're going to want to fight. And we got to get a little lucky that nobody has any injuries and nobody pulls out. But you're going to find ratings, and people are going to be interested in following these fighters as they grow throughout the tournament. The two men who fought in the middleweight division, nobody thought they would get to the finals. You know, and that's what a tournament's all about. And Brian Queter and John Companion, thank God they're boxing fans. And they actually believed in what we were trying to do. And they went back to their bosses. And this is extremely important that everybody, mostly the media, understand that they got this approved. Something they haven't done since 1997. And then what they went out and did is they bought the heavyweight championship of the world. And I was praying it did well. Because the better ESPN does, whether it's my show or somebody else's, it's good for our sport. They're the largest network in the world for sports programming. So I want to commend them on giving me the opportunity and thanking them. And I think we're going to do another year. I don't know, I'm going to put a plug in, but I think we're doing another year. But thank you very much. You guys have to thank them. Because they're the men who had the vision to make this tournament happen. Because like I told you when we did the first round, there's no losers. Because everybody got worldwide exposure and everybody will be fighting again. So thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. So, now to the fighters. It was a great tournament. I mean, we started in Laughlin, Nevada, and I got to tell you, it was a great tournament. And the guys who are sitting here now were not the guys expected to win. I think even on the board, Brandon, you were favored in Vegas. You know, it was a great fight, but Willie won the fight. I think on the board, Petrov, well, he wasn't favored either. Carcamo, thank you. What? So, but that's what tournaments are all about, and that's what live sporting events are all about. You never know what's going to happen. And I just want to thank all these guys for doing what I knew they would do. They fought their heart out. They came to win. And like I told every one of them, I guarantee them I'll bring them all back. And I'm already bringing some of the kids back who lost in the first round in June and July. So, and I want to thank one other person before I turn it over to the current athletes. This athlete here. This is the young man who actually helped me get a start in my life and become the promoter that I happen to be now. It's because of him. And he won Boxcino in '97, went on to win 4 world titles, knocked out 29 in a row, started his career, and wound up with 32. And he's a congressman in Brazil. And I asked him to come here to help me support the young fighters of today, and he did. So thanks a lot, Acelino. Thank you for coming. What I think I want to do now is, let's talk about the main event. Which one was the main event? I think both fighters were the main event. So, since we have both fighters in the first main event, we're going to turn it over to them first. So, I need a little help here. What's the proper protocol? The gentleman who lost the fight, or the gentleman goes first? What do you think, guys? I need a little help here. I'm serious. Okay. So, Brandon, you go first, and then we'll go with Willie. Well, you know, I need some help once in a while. Hold on. Here's Brandon Adams. His first loss, but he will be back. And I know that for a fact. He fought a great fight.
Thank God. I want to thank you guys for coming out to support us. I want to thank Willie for putting on the performance, man. I mean, I had fun fighting the whole time. I couldn't stop smiling. I mean, I enjoyed it. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. I hope I made a lot of y'all proud fighting hard, and know that, you know, I plan on coming to fight harder next fight. And I need more experience, and that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go work on experience with my trainer and my team. And I'm grateful, you know. I didn't, ain't no telling what kind of opportunities I would have had if I didn't take this tournament, get in this tournament. I probably would have never been able to fight on TV until a few years. You know what I mean? Who knows? But this tournament definitely helped me get put out there. So, I mean, I don't feel like a loser tonight. I don't. And like I said, man, thank all of you.
Awesome. I could have said it better myself. First of all, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, I'm a follower of God, and in 2011, when I lost a split decision to a fighter who was 17-17 and my career went in the crapper, so to speak, you couldn't have told me that in 2014 I'll be fighting at this level with this many fans. And that just goes to show you how great God is, you know what I mean? What God has for one person, no man can take. And I'm just happy. Big shout out to my family, my father who was middleweight champion, and Artie promoted my father for a while. My father being
I was lucky.
My father being my idol when I was younger and seeing my dad fight on TV, I wanted to be so much like my dad. And I'd like to say thank you to my grandparents, and everybody know from watching, you know, the interviews that I lost my grandfather about 8 months ago, who raised me from a month old. My grandmother is here. Grandma, stand up. Give my grandmother those two people took me in at a month old, and they didn't have to do it. They could have said, look, we raised our kids, we're not raising anymore. And they took me in, and their hands molded the man that you see right now, a man of character and humility. And I'd like to thank my fiance, Britt, my daughter, Indonesia, my son, who's trying to do everything here. I'd like to give a big shout out to my manager, Damian Watson with D3 Management. You know, no one man runs the show. It was a team effort. And I'd like to give shouts to my trainers, Danny Akers, the man on top of everything, and Tony Morgan, who's trainer of multiple world champions. And I thank him for jumping on board and being just being an awesome mentor and trainer to me. And my big brother, Lee Davis, for keeping me in tremendous shape. Tonight was my first 10-rounder, and I felt like I could have won another 5, and I attribute all that to Lucky. And I'd like to thank my city, Rochester 585, for coming out, the Easy Work team. I'd like to thank you guys for going in the training camp with me and sticking next to me every day in the gym and making sure I get through my workouts. Not only doing the workouts with me, but making the workouts fun. Thanks to another one of my sponsors, MOGD, Will, Amanda. I see you guys back there. Make sure y'all follow that hashtag, MOG Man of God. That's what I am. And Protein Shot for keeping me live and loaded, live and loaded for Ken. And another special person is my brother. A lot of people don't know that my brother, Trent, stand up. That's my heart. That's my right hand. If you notice, he sends me to the ring, and it's been so many times where I've ended up at his house, or he's ended up at my house, you know, just crying our eyes out, or, you know, needing each other to console each other. And his music career is blossoming just as well as my boxing career, and this Team Monroe movement is only the beginning. This is, if you guys think these titles and his music on the radio is it, I got another thing coming. This is only the beginning, but we always put God first. So make sure you do that. And big shouts out to Banner Promotions, because after everything happened and I lost that split decision and my career was sort of in the crapper, Artie Pelullo came along and gave me the opportunity and chance of a lifetime and believed in me. And please give Brandon Adams a round of applause again. I'm sore in places right now. I don't even remember getting hit. So when I say this man is a power puncher, this man is a power puncher, man. He hit me with about 2 shots and the whole right side of my body went numb. So this boy is a bad boy, and I'm so happy we made it here, and we were 2 least favorites to make it, and we were the ones that made it to the finals and put on the best skill. And I'm going back down to 54. So if you're staying at 160, that territory is all yours. Hopefully I don't have to fight this man again, but I know I'm taking a long time, but I mean, shouts out to ESPN for being great. Ronaldo Osuna, I hope I made Teddy proud because he was giving me so much crap during the tournament. Todd Grisham, everybody, and big shouts out to my advisor, Johnny Boss, who also passed away last year. It's been a bumpy road, but you know, God doesn't make mistakes, and I'm happy to be here. And thank you guys for being here. And I love you guys, and God willing, I'll be that world champion that everybody's looking forward for me to be in. And,
it's inevitable.
And I love you, baby. It's inevitable.
Thank you, Willis. Two-class guys, folks. 2-class guys. So now to the other main event. Fernando came through us through Roberto, which I know from Mexico, and we okay? And through Sean Gibbons. Peter Petrov over here, that's the American way of saying his name, came to my dear friend Alex Campanova. And that's how it works. There's a lot of promoters involved with these fighters. There's a lot of guys involved with working together and bringing everybody together. So I would like Roberto to say a few words on behalf of his fighter, a friend of ours, a man I've done business with from Mexico, and his young fighter, 23 years old, said, all right, I can't make the weight anymore. So I guess he's gone up. So he's a future world champion, just as Brandon Adams is. All these kids are, because they're on the map now. And they did what their managers directed them to do, which a lot of young athletes don't do. They don't take a chance. They want to build their records at 18 and 19 and 20 and 0, and they want to fight guys like me. That doesn't build your record. It's not hard to beat me. But what they did was, they believed that they had ability, and they believed that they could win. And they went for it, and that's what it's all about. Everybody in the tournament went for it. So that's what athletics is all about. You know, that you feel you can win and you're going to gamble. And that's what they all did. And that's something I wanted to make sure I said. Everybody went for it, and they gave their all. So right now, Roberto, you're up. Talk about your fighter, and then Emmanuel will translate. I have it covered, don't worry.
Hola, buenas noches. Pues Fernando es una persona muy capaz, muy preparada, tiene un gran futuro, es joven. Considero que no fue su noche, pero tiene un gran futuro por delante. La realidad, yo quiero agradecer a la invitación que nos hicieron. Quiero también agradecer al equipo, a Juan Díaz, por el excelente trabajo que hizo, a Miguel Sabas, a mí, a todo el equipo. En realidad, muchísimas gracias. Nos vamos con un buen sabor de boca, aunque no es el del triunfo, pero sé que tenemos con qué y podemos hacer cosas grandes en el futuro. Gracias.
Fernando is a great young fighter. He has his whole career ahead of him. He's going to do a lot of wonderful things, and he would like to thank the whole team that has been working together with Fernando and gotten this far. He wants to thank the promoters for giving him this opportunity.
Well, first of all, good night to everybody. I want to thank Artie Pelullo for the invitation we got, and we knew this was going to be hard for us, for my body. I've been fighting in the lightweight since I was 17 years old. I obviously have grown up a lot, and I was doing my best to make it work, you know. We did it the first 2 times, but it was 136. This time was 135, and well, our body didn't respond to it. But You know, I want to thank Joel, Sabas Rosas, Joel Diaz, Amit Katz, and my people from Obregon, Alfredo Zuna. They've been really great to me. They offered me some really good training at Indio, California. And, well, we were ready, but it's just when the body doesn't want to, it doesn't want to, you know. We were able to make the weight, but it didn't get up. And that was the reality. I was all right. I didn't even sweat in the fight. But Petrov is a really, really good fighter. I would love him. I would love to fight him as strong as I am, because I know this wasn't even the half of me. But congratulations to him. He did a great fight tonight. He won the right way, and well, you guys definitely are going to see me again. We will go on weight. We will go up on weight, and we'll be stronger. We'll be stronger than we are, and we're ready for this. We're only 23 years old. We know this is just the beginning for us, and well, thank you very much to everybody.
Right now, I'd like to introduce Danny Zamora, who's the manager of Mr. Petrov over here, who wasn't favored to win the fight either, wasn't favored to win the tournament. And if it wasn't for Alex Campanova, I want to thank my dear friend for allowing us to put Pietro in the tournament. It was unbelievable, Alex. Great call, great call. So I want to introduce Danny to you now, who manages and trains Peter, and he's going to take it from here to introduce his fighter. He wants to say a few words. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, everybody, especially ESPN and Banner Promotions. I got to tip my head to Fernando. I mean, he's a tough fighter, tough warrior. We could see that the weight did have an effect on him. He has a great team behind him. I've known Joel Diaz for a long time. I think he's one of the best trainers out there. But I mean, we have a great fighter here that we've been working with, and Peter Petrov, and dedication that he put in and work. I mean, he came from Spain, landed here in November, and we just started taking off from there. And he's a great fighter. I just want to thank everybody for everything. Peter's going to try to say some words in English, just to practice and start working on it. Yeah, so here it is.
Get you more bread.
Hello, everybody. Excuse me for my English is not good. Tonight is a perfect night for me. I have 3 belts. I'm very happy. And thank you so much for my followers from Spain, from Russia, Mexican followers. And thank you, Fernando. He is a true warrior. For him, he's very strong and very good boxer. Así de mi noche, yo me preparé muy fuerte. Entrené por 4 meses aquí en Estados Unidos con mi entrenador Dani Zamora. Hemos hecho un gran trabajo en el gimnasio y eso se notó esta noche en el ring.
It's been a great night, and I've done a lot of training. I've been training with Danny for 4 months, and I showed it today in the ring.
Quiero dar las gracias a Banner Promotions, a Arturo, a ESPN, a todos los que hicieron posible este show. Alex.
I'd like to thank Banner Promotions, Artie Pelullo, ESPN, Alex, and all those who made this show possible.
Dar las gracias a mis patrocinadores, a Lucas Sol, a Wartape, a Snack.
I'd like to thank my sponsors as well.
Lucas Oil, Wartape, and Snack Supplements.
There you go.
Y esta victoria se la dedico a mi sobrina que nació anoche. Y yo soy tío de nuevo y eso ha sido lo más feliz para mí esta semana, ganar el título y que nazca mi sobrina.
I want to dedicate this title to my niece who was born last night. It's been a very happy night for me. I have become an uncle again and I won a title.
Y espero seguir trabajando y espero oportunidades para ganar más títulos, ganar más peleas. Yo estoy preparado para lo que sea, yo me entreno duro todos los días y estoy abierto a todas las posibilidades. Quiero pelear con los mejores y haré todo lo que pueda en el ring para ganar.
And so I'm ready for what's coming next. I'm ready to fight all the best fighters out there. I want to win more titles and I want to keep going.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Before we open up for questions, I would like to say something that's very important to me. When we first started the tournament, like a lot of people in the sport, a lot of the casinos were skeptical about the tournament. First location was in Laughlin, Nevada. Second location was in North Dakota during the NCAA playoffs at Four Bears Casino. Both opened arms to the tournament. And then when I picked up the phone and talked to Turning Stone, they were all over. And they wanted to do two. And then we did the semifinals, as everybody knows, in April here, and then the final. And I just wanted to thank everybody at the Turning Stone because we just love working here, and Heidi and Brett and all your staff, and everybody that I don't know that works with my staff. It was a terrific turnout. You guys did a great job. And in the future, the people that helped us will have first opportunity for next year and so on and so on. I just want to say thank you to everybody and to Ray, who I met tonight for the first time. I've been coming here for years. But I want to thank everybody for helping us. Thank you very much. Turning Stone is great. One of the best places to go to. And that's important. So now, let's open it up to the reporters. I can see this gentleman over here who's all ready to go. Go ahead. So, you want to go first?
Sure. Bob Newman from FightNews.com. First to Willie and Brandon. You guys obviously had fought on the same card last time in the semifinals, and you had a chance to see each other. Did either one of your opponents present something different or unexpected than what you had seen or studied in the fight tonight?
Actually, I couldn't really compare myself to Vitaly because Vitaly's tall. You know, he has more of a European style. So, I mean, I couldn't really compare my style towards his to fight Monroe. And Bondis, you know, like all three of me, Bondis and Vitaly, we all fight different, you know, so I couldn't really approach him the same way that they did, or I couldn't really look at how he fought them because, you know, I don't sit there, I move, you know, but one thing I could say that Bondis did that, you know, was he actually, because he was a little shorter, you know what I mean, the way he was trying to cut the ring off and work, you know what I mean, that's one thing that, you know, I was trying to capitalize on as well tonight. But as far as Vitaly goes, because he's tall, you know what I mean, like two different kind of fighters. I'm like 5'8", 6'1", 2. It's like I didn't want to compare the two of us.
How about the speed that he brought? Was there difficulty trying to solve that or counter it?
To be honest, Monroe is a daddy long leg. Like to me, daddy long leg is a long spider, man. He was a lot longer than I anticipated, expected. As far as speed, I knew he was fast. I knew he was fast right off the bat. You know, I know he's a quick fighter, but I didn't expect him to be that long. He was long. You know, I mean, reach, everything. He definitely had that.
Okay.
I guess you have to say something.
Pause. One thing that I can say Brandon did bring that was different was actually, if you watch the fight, if you go back and watch it, you'll see a couple times you'll see me and him smiling at each other, and that smile was like, I know that trick, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna fall for that. So for him to be, like I said, the least experienced fighter in the tournament, and to give me the hardest fight, then to be able to, like, he laid traps for me a couple times, and I fell for a couple of them. Like, he caught me with some, you know, he's a real throwback. And I consider myself a throwback because I was raised by the old school fighters. You know, my grandfather being, you know, Afro-Cubano, I was taught the old school Cubano style, and then, you know, me being black, you know, the real tricky, you guys know, different styles come with different cultures. So, you know, that's, you know, one of my big advantages is having two different styles. And there's a lot of tricks and stuff that, and little traps I laid. And, you know, sometimes I would lay a trap and then he'll step back and we'd both smile like, I know that trick. So, I mean, for him to be the least experienced and to come in and be able to see, you know, to see these things and not fall for them, showed me his work ethic and his natural ability as a fighter. And he come with a couple jabs. For his arms to be 4 inches shorter than mine, for him to be fast enough to catch somebody fast like me, the mongoose, with a jab, I mean, like, that's a testament to his skill level. And like I said in the beginning, skills pay the bills. And I think me and him were the most skilled fighters in the tournament. Obviously, we made it to the finals, and we put on a skillful battle, man. And I'm glad I was able to do it with him. But he's an awesome fighter, man, strong fighter. And like I said, I'm going back down to 54, so 160 is all I was.
Now, Willie, how about the punch? I think it might have been the 4th round or so where he tagged you and you kind of staggered back into the neutral corner there. Do you remember that? And was it a telling blow or?
Well, actually the punch landed on my glove and I tripped over my sneakers. So I was, you know, I had to, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I don't want Nike to get mad at me. But I tripped over my, you know, my shoes were new and I took only 2 days to break them in, which all fighters know you should take about a week to break your fighting shoes in. And I actually staggered over my shoes a couple times without getting hit, but not to take anything away from him. I mean, like, Brandon called me with some shots that made me say, man, this is not the guy I want to be on the inside with. But a testament to my head trainer, Tony Morgan, one thing we worked on was inside fighting. And because I'm so fast on the outside and I'm so slick, people think I can't fight on the inside. I mean, you guys saw me take it to the ropes and fight on the inside and show that I can bang a little bit too. So I'm just adding levels to my game, and I'm blessed. And I'm glad I was able to do it with a strong and talented fighter like Brandon Adams. I think being in there with someone like him and winning not only shows that I'm a good fighter, but it shows that I can rise to the occasion because I'm in there with somebody who was equally as talented as me.
That was specifically then you were prepared to, because I noticed that you were fighting really well on the inside, but you anticipated him being strong enough and athletic enough to force that sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at all of his fights. You got to look at his fights. I mean, look what he did with Daniel Eduardo, look what he did with Gatico, who's a banger. He outbanged him. I mean, he's intelligent enough to box when he wants, to bang when we're very similar. The only difference is I'm southpaw and he's right-handed. So, I mean, it was a war of attrition tonight and who could get off first. And I thank God that I was the one to be able to get off first, but he's a tremendous fighter.
Take none away from him.
Nothing. Go ahead.
You said right after the fight that you had to give him things that he hadn't seen. Could you elaborate on what kind of things that you gave him that he hadn't seen?
Just the angles and you know, the fake, the jab, the up down with the jab, you know, real old school. They call it look low, aim high, look high, aim low. You know, just some old school things that maybe he hadn't seen because, like, he only, what do you have, 6 amateur fights? And he's, you know, was 14-0 coming into the fight. I had 142 amateur fights. So I've seen a lot more styles. I fought on the international level. I came tantalizingly close to making the 08 Olympic team. So my experience as an amateur fighter and then with the different professionals I've worked with, I just thought I'd go into my bag of tricks and give him a different look, which at the end of the day also could have been a double-edged sword because if somebody hasn't seen something, it may just go right over their head. They may not step back and say, oh, I've seen that trick before. It may just go over their head. So he's not I don't want him to, I'm not saying he's ignorant, but you know the old saying, ignorance is bliss. You know, sometimes you don't see it. If you haven't seen it before, it won't affect you. And he showed that tonight. I mean, like, I got caught with some hard shots.
Can you talk about the Mongoose nickname?
A friend of mine, Sammy Torres, gave me that nickname. He gave me that nickname because he watched me fight. I don't know if you guys ever watched a mongoose fight. They hunt cobras. You know, they specialize in hunting snakes. And my whole style and personality, from inside the rings to outside the ring, is that of a mongoose. I'm very soft-spoken. I walk light. I don't, you know, it looks hard to see. When you look at me, you know, if you never see me, a guy like an R&B singer, he can't fight. But when I get in the ring and start throwing them hands, it's a bad boy right there, you know what I'm saying? So, and my reflexes, you know, my reflexes, being able to make guys miss and being able to see the punch coming and being able to set traps and right in the middle of a fighter throwing punches, I can get off my punches and be gone. So if you've ever watched a mongoose fight a snake, that's how a mongoose fights a snake. So that's where the root of my name came from. And shouts out to my boy Sammy Torres for giving me that name. And with my Cubano heritage, I had to put the El Mongoose for my Latin people. So, you know.
Anything else, guys?
Artie, what career path do you see for each of these gentlemen, the middleweights right now, coming off of this fight?
Well, it's really simple. They have now put themselves in a position, particularly Willie right now because he won, that he'll be in the top 5 of 2 of the world organizations. And there was a tweet from one of the world organizations tonight that said he's already ready for a world title. So congratulations, Artie. Brandon, he has to go back. We have to get a couple more wins. And he got an education tonight, which is good. You know, people lose. It's how you handle the loss and what you do with it. You know, sometimes you become a better athlete if you know what to do with the loss. Everybody loses. The man sitting up here lost twice and won 4 world titles. All the great fighters lose, but they become great fighters because they come back from the loss and they do what it takes to win again. So I think what he's made of, and I think Fernando's made of, that they'll be back and be fighting for world titles. Same thing with Peter Petrov. He's going to be fighting for a world title within 6 months to a year as well. I believe that both of these guys have distinguished themselves where they are players now in their respective weight classes. And if Willie wants to go down to 54, that's not going to be an issue. I already promoted a world champion at 54, Demetrius Andre, so I'm pretty sure I can make that fight happen tomorrow. And with this young fellow fighting at 35, there's going to be so many guys, and so many fights are out there, like the Crawford fight and other things that are coming up for him. Everyone in the tournament is going to fight again. The guys in the finals will fight for world titles, in my opinion, because of the necessity of having good athletes much sooner than you think, and especially the 2 guys who won. And the reason why we went out and got the WBA and the WBO, we fought for the regional titles, and it was no expense to the kids. Something I wanted to do because I wanted Paco and Gilberto, who were on board with me in 1997, that the winners in the Boxcino tournament then, as they did for me this time, I will be rated in the top 5 in the world. And that's an incentive for what they all did, all the kids, all these young athletes. They took a chance, like I said earlier. So the answer to your question, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be fighting for world titles rather short. Is there any questions for the other 2 fighters, guys?
Well, I still have a question for Willie Monroe.
Sure.
The 3rd round, you started to feel comfortable. 4th round, you started to show your speed. What were you seeing at that point?
I just had to figure him out. But like I said, he's a crafty fighter also. So I mean, you can't just go in there thinking, okay, I got the experience. I have more fights. I'm stronger. I'm faster. I should be able to. And you can't do that. You know, you still have to play it cautious. You know, sometimes I get a lot of slack for being a quote-unquote defensive fighter, but I think fighters like me and Brandon are going to bring back the essence of boxing, which is hitting and not getting hit. You know, a lot of people give me slack about moving and getting mines and leaving, but I ask people all the time, do you rob the bank and stick around for the cops? No. you get yours, you get out. You feel what I'm saying? That's boxing, and that's how you survive in boxing. That's how you have a long career. You hit, you don't get hit. And I just had to pick up his timing, pick up his speed, pick up, you know, see a couple of his moves, and be able to adjust on the drop of a dime. And I think that's a testament to my boxing IQ and my intelligence. And like I said, at the end of the day, skills pay the bills. Fights I won up here, you know what I mean? The physical part is an awesome attribute, but fights I won up here. You know what I'm saying? So if you're, my intellect, you know what I mean, lock me in and allow me to be able to make the correct moves.
Anything else, guys? Well, again, I want to thank everybody who was involved, and I want to thank everybody for our help. Oh, is it a wave or is it, oh, it's a wave, okay. And I want to thank, once again, ESPN, Turning Stone, and the guys in the press. Thanks a lot, guys, because you did a good job. Thanks. Have a good night, and happy Memorial Day.